A common subject in the Rise of Kingdoms community is how's the game doing? What's the state of the game? Is it growing? Is it shrinking? And what does the future look like? Well, let's have a little market analysis and see how things are going. So this is the lifetime revenue over £2 billion or dollars and downloads over 100 million. So certainly a super successful game. The game also has one of the highest revenues per download I've ever seen for Tier 1 East at $69.30, which is absolutely incredible. Even the worldwide is pretty good on $19. And there, of course, is the West, which is United Kingdom, United States, Germany, France, Canada, and Australia. So we know, or we're certainly expecting China and South Korea to be big players. We know United States is top for revenue, then China, then South Korea, as we would all expect, then Japan, Germany, France, and Australia. Downloads, however, should mirror this to some extent. So United States is top, which would make sense. China is second. But then Vietnam, Brazil, Russian Federation, Turkey and Indonesia. But it's unbelievable that they have very high numbers of downloads, but they haven't spent a lot of money because they're not what we would consider a tier 1 revenue source. But of course, South Korea don't even rank despite their huge spend in the game. But of course, this is historic. What's going on in the last 30 days? Are the Chinese and South Korean players still there? Well, let's find out. I'm expecting to see Turkey in the top few percentage because I know that they're a big growing base at the moment. So in the last 30 days we have United States, Germany, wow, China still there, South Korea still there, Japan, United Kingdom, wow, they've grown. They weren't there in the lifetime statistics, but they've got some really good content creators at the moment in the UK who are obviously bringing a lot of money to the game. That's some fantastic guys. And then here we go to the last one is Australia. But for the downloads we have United States still top, then Turkey. So yes, I was expecting that. There's definitely been a huge number of Turkish whales popping up in the last 200 or 300 kingdoms. They're definitely this game is definitely doing well in Turkey. So if you are a Turkish speaking content creator, this is your opportunity. Get into Rise of Kingdoms and you could have some success. Mexico, interesting. Italy, United Kingdom, as I said, nice to see that market is still growing, being pushed by those top tier content creators. Brazil, and then Germany still up there. So that's really interesting. Why don't we though compare the last 30 days revenue, which is 10 million, and the last 30 days downloads, which is a very solid 1 million, certainly not a dying game by any extent, to Call of Dragons. Call of Dragons, of course, has not been around as long, so we shouldn't concentrate on the lifetime statistics, although if you are interested, they're showing at $100 million and 10 million downloads, so a 20th of the revenue and a 10th of the downloads. But let's look at the last 30 days because that will be a more even battleground. United States top for the revenue, followed by South Korea. Good, they're still there. Japan, France, Germany, Canada, and the United Kingdom. But no China at all, which is interesting. And if we go to the downloads in the last 30 days, so a fifth of what Rise of Kingdoms achieved. Turkey is top. Interesting. So again, the fastest growing player base in Call of Dragons would seem to be Turkey. United States is still there. Brazil, Russian Federation, France, Mexico, and Germany. So interesting. No China shown anywhere on statistics. And what I would mention is an interesting way to look at it is for Rise of Kingdoms. When they lose a South Korean player or a Chinese player, they don't seem to be gaining them at the same rate. So I would be interested to see their retention, because as the South Korean players stop playing Rise of Kingdoms, they don't seem to be starting again. If we go to the graph here, though, it would appear that the blue line is Call of Dragons, so it's certainly for a small space of time overtook Rise of Kingdoms in downloads and has been in quite a decline since. It's interesting, though, that where we are in 2003, both games seem to be on an upward trajectory, so that's good. If we pull out the graph, though, to a longer period, of course, Rise of the blue line is only Call of Dragons hasn't been around as long, but there is certainly a decline in the red line from where it was at game launch, but I think quite a healthy up at the end there. So, in conclusion, I think Rise of Kingdoms is far from done. Just out of interest, though, I'm going to pop in PUBG. So that yellow line across the top is PUBG, which of course is showing what is possible for a top tier game with real competition, as opposed to the pay to win formula. Because I feel the pay to win formulas are always going to struggle at some point, in the same way that if you have huge inequality in a group of people, so eventually some people would just opt out. We're interested to see how PUBG throughout this entire period has maintained its top position with its esports stance, as opposed to the pay-to-play model. But nice to see that Rise of Kingdoms, although not where it was when it was first released or at its high points, is certainly on an upward trajectory at the moment. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little market analysis. I've really enjoyed looking at these statistics with you. Any comments, comment below, and let's get a conversation going.